All right, switching gears a little bit, we have some guests joining us here on set. We have Cynthia Wright and Rob Longo from the Veterans Ministry, and they're here to promote an upcoming event at the LakePoint Community Church in Oxford, where we celebrate our veterans. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Tell us what you have planned for November 9th, is it?
Yep, so it'll be Saturday, November 9th. It's our 4th annual Veterans Dinner. It's free for all the veterans. We have a beautiful opening ceremony. We have a great dinner that's being catered this year. And then we have a guest speaker that comes, and music. And it's just a great time for all the veterans.
Now, you had a big summer picnic that I was at, and that was spectacular. You had beautiful weather, a great turnout. Look back on that event.
Yeah, the weather was beautiful. We're always worried about the weather. It happened to be an awesome day, and we just love having our vets coming in and being able to love on them a little bit and give them a good meal, give them some good music. And we have a lot of organizations that come that help veterans, so they can walk through and see what organizations they might be able to get assistance from or help from or direction from to take care of them.
Yeah, I've seen the VFW there and some different like sponsor tents, vendor tents. Yeah. So what do you have? What do you have planned for November 9th? What's on the menu?
Well, it's going to be, this year it's baked chicken and Swedish meatballs with noodles and mashed potatoes and grilled mixed vegetables, rolls, salad, and desserts.
That's
so
awesome.
It's going to be, and again, it's free. We just ask people to register. So they can register with the QR code that's on the flyer, or if they want to call our LakePoint Church office, they'll take their name and get them registered.
That's
it just
great.
gives us an idea how many people are going to be coming, so that's why we want people to register.
So this is for veterans and their families,
Right,
and they can bring
veteran
guests?
and one guest.
Veteran and one guest.
A wife or son, whoever can bring them. So I mean, this year, this summer, we did have our picnic outdoors. Last year it had rained, so we had to go indoors. But then the sun was shining. People started going outside. We usually have a couple old car clubs show up, Model Ts and Model A's, and people have an antique or classical car, they would bring it. So yeah, it was just a beautiful day.
What's the biggest need that veterans have right now?
Support, mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Back when I was serving from 1968 to 72, when we came home, the veterans were kind of frowned upon, and people wanted to beat us up. We had Kent State, the shootings going on, and people were burning their draft cards. And so when we came home from the war, we had nobody to look out after us, to take care of us for all those needs. And we just turned inside each other, and just a lot of people went to drugs, alcohol, other things, and just sad. But now today, with all these Desert Storm and everything else, the veterans are being recognized again. They're being respected again, and people are helping them now with PTSD and other things, with food, for their families. And
so it's great that the attitude has changed.
Yes.
But the support and the need is still there for all the things that happen when you're serving.
Right. You had Agent Orange. I have a lot of friends that are 100% disabled now because of Agent Orange, and the government is starting to recognize that, and it goes to a second generation. So if I had Agent Orange, it would go to my children and possibly their children. So now the government is recognizing that and taking care of the vets, which is important.
Well, that's good. That's good what you're doing over there. So what else can we expect? We heard the menu. What about the entertainment? I hear there's music and a guest speaker.
Yeah. Pastor Bob will be singing, and then another gentleman, Mitch Washer, he'll be also singing and stuff. But I just wanted to, before I opened up, was just thank you for having us here. We really appreciate it, and getting the word out to the communities, and our Major Karen Finch Collier, who is unable to be with us today. She has some issues, family issues with her parents, and they're not feeling well, so she's kind of stepped aside a little bit, but we miss her. She's got a great heart, a lovely lady, and just so willing to serve, and so we can't wait till those are resolved, and then she'll come back and join us.
I just wanted to briefly talk about the speaker that's
Yes.
coming. So we're honored to have Blake Leach. He's a Chief Operating Officer for a Warrior's Journey. And Blake served in the Army, and he was injured in Iraq from a roadside bomb and suffered with PTSD and had a lot of issues that he was dealing with and learned how to deal with them. And now he works with the Warrior's Journey to be able to help other veterans in their journey. So is a dynamic speaker, and he's going to be coming to speak to our veterans. So we're
He came to
excited
our-
that he's coming.
Yeah, he came to our church a couple of years ago and spoke to the whole church, and it was very compelling. It touched our hearts and his journey and what he had gone through with his family and himself, and trying to get back on track. And I think it was all because of Jesus Christ coming in him, accepting him, and it was just awesome.
Yeah. Now, when we hear that this event is free to veterans, people got to be watching this thinking, how is this possible? How are you able to feed these people, making it free to come in? Talk about that.
Well, we do some events during the year to raise money. In April, we have a Bowl-orama, and we do pretty good with that. And X amount of dollars for a family or a couple, and it includes pizza and pop, and we sell disciple crosses and cookies and cakes and all that kind of stuff, and it's all through donations. And so
There's a LakePoint Community Church website. Can people go there to make donations if they want to support the cause? How can someone donate to the cause?
I would call the office.
I'll call the
Yeah. I'm
and
not for
we have a
sure.
website
Yeah.
and things of that. So
Yeah.
I think if the office can, if for certain questions, they could direct you to the right place and whatever you need.
Yeah.
But we would love to have donations.
Sure. Yeah.
And then people donate. We have go around in the community and they donate food or baskets, for prizes and also money. And
Yeah.
so that
That's
helps.
great. Now you touched on it a little bit, but talk about why it's important to do this. It's a meal, one day, but why do you do it? Why do you think that the veterans appreciate this?
It's more than just a meal. It's getting together. It's camaraderie. A friend of mine was an Army vet during the Vietnam era, and the first year that he came, he was sitting at a table, and all of a sudden, this guy walks in with his wife and sits down. Fred, my buddy Fred, went to school with this guy, and they joined the service together, and he hadn't seen him in 40 some odd, almost 50 years. So you never know what God has to offer. You just show up and just to enjoy one another and the brotherhood of serving, and so a lot of stories and a lot of memories and
Camaraderie.
yeah, definitely.
How many veterans do you expect?
Was it?
Well, we usually have around 250 to 260. That includes all our volunteers. We usually have about 60 volunteers at least. So 180, 190
And
veterans.
what's the breakdown of that demographic as far as what wars did they serve in? What was your biggest chunk of people right now?
Mostly the Vietnam era and Desert Storm and like that. But I have some friends. A buddy of mine had just passed. He was almost 100 years old, so he served, on Omaha Beach. He landed on Omaha Beach. He was in the Navy there, and so anywhere in the 90s, there's a lot of Korean veterans and
Still some Korean.
stuff like that. So there's people in their mid-90s that are still showing up, and
I think we forget sometimes as a community of all the different wars that we've been involved in, and we think of the big ones, Vietnam and World War I and II, of course.
in Korea.
Those are, and then Korea was the 50s, and of course Desert Storm, and there's other conflicts that people are involved in that they get sent home and they're still veterans,
Yes.
right? You still serve, you're a
serve.
veteran.
Yes, they said I do. They raised their hand to defend the Constitution of the United
Yeah.
States, and that's very important. It is a commitment. You leave your family, the loved ones that are home. They don't know whether you're going to return home or whatever. So, we pray for them, for the veterans as well as the families, to give them peace and knowing that their loved ones will come back home after
Yeah.
the war. So,
Now we have here in Lake Orion, we have the VFW, we have the American Legion. They provide that support and a place for veterans to get together and share their experiences. One issue that I know the VFW is facing is their members are basically aging up, and we've lost a few of them over the past year. I've known a few of them personally. I wonder what we can do to get some of the people who served in some of the more recent wars to take advantage of what these organizations are offering.
I think this venue right here, just putting the word out to the community. When we travel around the community, go to the grocery store, drugstore, we're always looking for someone that's wearing a hat, a veteran's hat, right? In the war they served, and so that kind of opens up a dialogue and to talk to them and tell them about our summer picnic and tell them about our appreciation dinner, and in turn they could tell their friends or family, and we pass out cards and flyers and just to reach as many people as we can, and especially the younger people. They're not as showing up as like we are, the older generation, and we're moving on. So we want to bring them in and have them be a part of this, so we could pass that baton back to them.
Yeah. Now, Cynthia, you and I have crossed paths numerous times, and about a year ago, you were the featured speaker at the Patriots' Day ceremony at the Veterans Memorial, and you got up there and shared an experience that you had on 9/11/2001 that made my jaw hang open. Do you want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, I was was blessed to be part of the White House Medical Unit. I was a nurse in the Air Force, and so on that particular day, I was on Air Force One and down in Florida, and so yeah, I was looking forward to getting home early and having kind of a relaxing day, but things changed, and it was an incredible day, an incredible week, months, years after that, the effects of 9/11. But I was with President Bush on the plane with a pretty small crew of people flying from one place to another, trying to get communications hooked up and just keep the president safe. But
that's amazing to be a part of history. Most of us sat on our couches that day and watched the events unfold on television. You were part of history that day. That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, think back on that.
One thing you touched on specifically during your speech was that everybody was suspicious of everybody that day. Do you remember what that was like?
I do. Yeah, it was just surreal, really. You know, there were rumors that the Air Force One was the next target in the terrorist, and so that certainly heightened the alert of all our security on the plane. And so they actually posted guards at the base of the plane where it goes up to the pilot and the communication system, and the whole plane was searched again for weapons, and so yeah, it was pretty kind of movie-ish. Yeah, kind of surreal, but
it's one thing I've learned living here in Lake Orion is, you know, you kind of get to know people who live right here in the community, and then you find out they have such an amazing story to tell, and it's like, oh my gosh, I would have never guessed that. That's incredible.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Any final thoughts on the upcoming dinner that you want to share?
No, we just hope people know about it, that they hopefully find it easy to sign up and come and enjoy the day. Yeah, we want to love on them, take care of them for an evening, and
they'll remember that day. And we keep getting some people back every year, and they're looking forward to it. Same thing like the summer picnic.
Yeah.
They've been there we've been doing this for 15 years, and people are still coming and remembering back then, and just an enjoyable time just getting together. And they bring their families and children, and so it's a pretty awesome event.
Yeah. Now that falls on the 9th. Veterans Day is on November 11th. They usually have a little ceremony here at the Orion Center. I haven't heard anything yet, but usually they have it in the banquet room there, so I'll have to look into that and see if they're going to be doing that again. But thanks for coming out, and thanks for all you do in the community and for veterans.
Yeah,
Well,
thank
you for having us.
Yeah. God bless you
appreciate
guys
it.
and your TV station and what you do for the community.
Oh, we're happy. I mean, that's what we offer, is to help get the word out. So, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you. So-